Well, good morning. I'm Pastor Shane, and I'd like to welcome you. Very happy Wednesday. It is a beautiful day, and I just wanted you to notice no snow. Can you believe this? This is absolutely gorgeous out here. So I'm kind of divulging into some verses. I just call them insightful. So as we go through these, hopefully they'll be insightful. I'm just kind of letting God lead, and we're touching on the verses today, a very simple one. 1 Kings chapter 19 and verse 12, and it simply says, after the fire came a gentle whisper. Okay, the lessons here, incredibly powerful. God often speaks to you and I in the quiet moments, not the dramatic ones, not the loud ones. Never assume that in order for God to be near, requires a lot of emotions or drama. Elijah, when this happened, was exhausted. Physically, emotionally, he had just been in an incredible spiritual battle. He had ran from the danger. Now he was pouring out his heart, and he was utterly alone. He'd seen God move on Mount Carmel, and now he's just sitting in a cave, unsure of what's coming next. And God says, get up, Elijah. Go up on the mountain, because I'm going to make my presence pass by. And there came a strong wind, and it shattered rocks. And then there was an earthquake, and then there was a fire. God wasn't in any of them. And then, in a gentle whisper, a thin silence, God spoke in a quiet voice. And in that quiet voice, this is what it reveals about God. God doesn't always speak through the dramatic, and sometimes he chooses subtle, still, quiet. God meets us where we're at according to our needs. Maybe that should have been the theme for today. God will meet you where you're at and provide what you need. Elijah, he didn't need more noise and spectacular. He had already had that. And it was absolutely incredibly loud and busy up on top of the mountain. Now he needs tenderness. He needs compassion. He needs healing. In fact, I believe the greatest enemy of experiencing God's presence is busyness. Busy can get so loud and so distracting that we're actually not even looking for God. What are we looking for? Often we go to worship, we're looking for a personal experience that is uplifting and, if possible, entertaining. The problem is worship isn't about me. Worship isn't to lift me up. Worship isn't to entertain me. It is to be directing my heart to God, right? Expressing my heart. So we experience God's presence not in the chaos, but in the crisis. We experience God in that calm that follows. So when life feels loud and emotions are swirling and the stress is rising and your emotions press in, it's easy to assume that God has to shout to get our attention, to be heard over the noise. But the truth is, the whisper of God is personal. It's close. It's intimate. You don't whisper to somebody that's far away. God whispers because he is very near. So remember, God will whisper to you in private. God will whisper to you in your stillness. So if you find yourself clamoring and desiring the dramatic, the exciting, if you find yourself reaching out for whatever the latest craze is, whatever will lift you up, recognize that worship is to lift up God, to direct your heart to God, to examine your heart. And you can't examine your heart in the honesty if it is so busy and so dramatic. You're starting to miss out on the voice of God. So my friends, I'm wishing you a very happy Wednesday, and God bless you. And as you go throughout your day, listen for the voice of God in the stillness.